Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's February 8th, 2022, and it's another late night for me. Back-to-back meetings, and just very tired. So I'm going to quickly get to the news. Stock market is actually coming back up. And as we really called the bottom the last couple of weeks, right? January 25th, FOMC meeting, people said that they're going to raise rates, and they said they raised rates. And again, just want to reiterate, we did call the bottom, and it might likely reverse, though, if the consumer price index kind of shows inflation is rapidly increasing. However, if it shows that inflation is stable and we're looking for something 7% or below, then I think things are just going to keep going back up. It means that the markets are kind of back to normalization. Hopefully the supply chain stuff can be resolved. Hopefully COVID is no longer an issue. Basically, everything should be back to normal very soon if the CPI numbers are okay. And we probably have less increases in the interest rate as well. Now let's get to some interesting news. There's some different coalitions being formed. Crypto firms are forming a coalition on market integrity. So they'll be monitoring like transactions, making sure there's less money laundering, monitoring for fraud. There's also PayPal forming a kind of coalition as well to really be in a selfish manner for PayPal to be increasing their kind of business channels into crypto. PayPal actually had really bad earnings this past week. Their stock went down like 25%. Same with Facebook and a few other stocks. But actually what happened in the markets was some stocks actually had really good earnings, such as Snapchat or Pinterest or Amazon or Google. So basically, the market was kind of showing that growth stocks were overvalued, and now some of them aren't. So there was quite a scare this week when the initial earnings were bad for some companies, but it shows that the money just got redistributed away from Facebook or Meta into other companies. So anyways, my point there is the growth stocks are still not a bad investment. They're not overvalued. I think Meta's PE ratio is only 5 right now, which is absolutely insane. They're just printing money, yet the stock is down because of their growth aspects are going down. And then we also have news that KPMG is adding, or KPMG Canada, so like slipping it in there in the title, adding crypto to its balance sheet. They have Bitcoin and Ethereum, I believe, using Gemini. So they're very, very famous accounting firm, and they're holding crypto. We're going to see more of this, by the way. I think last year we talked about this trend was happening with Tesla, and other companies were just holding Bitcoin. Obviously, MicroStrategy was the biggest one. And now it's kind of coming back. Now that, remember, there was some bad press that crypto was bad for the environment. Now there's this, people forgot about it, apparently. All right. Treasury Department warns that NFTs could be used in money laundering. So people can probably, they have a bunch of money they've made in crypto. They just buy an NFT with it, keep the NFT in storage. They don't have to report taxes on it. That's what Treasury Department is kind of worried about. Or, how people buy art. They sell the art for a lot of money, keep the art somewhere internationally. They can do that with NFTs as well. So people are wising up now on NFTs, but they're really kind of, and by the way, these NFT companies are becoming companies. These used to start as people just drawing things and making generative art. But that's a brand that you can utilize in other products. It becomes an IP. You can use Bored Apes now in video games or in movies or in cartoons, right? And that is worth as much as $5 billion. So Andreessen Horowitz is leading that. There's a couple of crazy fundraising stories, but I want to get to this because we just talked about money laundering with NFTs. But back in 2016, there were about $71 million of Bitcoin stolen from Bitfinex. That is now worth, it's actually $5.1 billion. I don't know why they marked the price down. But $5 billion, they arrested this couple. And this couple was always around in these crypto conferences. A lot of people know these people. And one of them is a rapper. And she's a Forbes columnist. I think she has look at it. She's just like a social media person. But she has like a Forbes columnist bio that says she does research for money laundering. So her job is to figure out how to get around fraud or how people might use fraud for crypto. So she's probably very good at it. And I think that's probably why they got arrested. Nasdaq listed today the Bitcoin mining firm ETF. I didn't check how it did. I'm obviously not a big fan of Bitcoin mining in general. I think it's like you have to buy a lot of hardware and break even, whereas there's other crypto assets you can buy that automatically return investment right away, right? Yield farming, staking, these things are all smarter investments to me than investing in these Bitcoin mining farms, which overall, by the way, over time become more difficult to mine Bitcoin. So I just don't know why people would invest in that, but I know a lot of people that invest in it. So I'm sorry to be very blunt on this not this podcast, but this show. January was a terrible month. Remember, like January 25th was like the bottom, right? For now. But it was a bottom. Everybody was thinking crypto's dead. It's over. Yet it had like a record-breaking month of fundraising. So like I said, there is a ton of money on the sidelines, most likely from people that sold during the January month. However, $5 billion were made in investments. And if you think about it, $5 billion is enough to move the needle on any market, or in the crypto market overall. If I just bought $5 billion worth of Bitcoin, that is going to create a bull market because of all the crazy arbitrage bots that are buying in, and people are selling assets or selling Bitcoin to buy other assets. It's like a whole thing. Right now, I guess China is surging. Everything's coming back up right now. Like I'm telling you, like all the signs are pointing positive. But crypto startup Alchemy, I think it's another infrastructure play, has a $10 billion valuation. And I think the last 2 weeks I've been complaining that the word unicorn has been used way too much because everything's worth $1 billion now. So the new unicorn should be 10 billion. But when you have multiple decacorn projects coming out of the blue, out of the ether, you could say, it's kind of like we're probably a little overvalued, right? Decacorns should be a rare thing, but it's very common now too. Anyway, 10 billion should be the new unicorn. I'm going to keep saying it until it happens. NFT Home Sale is going to be sold on a thing called Proppy. Proppy, I think, is a play on words on property. Is going to be, see right here, Proppy, is going to sell for about $650K, and there's 1,500 people lined up to buy it. You know why? Because it's the first NFT home. So I'd like to see what the 10th NFT home purchase is going to look like. However, or the 100th NFT purchase, because then you kind of normalize people are not just there for historical reasons, they're there for needing a home reasons. But if you think about it, NFTs for property, it's an interesting concept. I just don't know how it integrates with like the actual land title, or like the property tax. Like it has to integrate with like the government, local government, right? And NFTs, however, outside of that is perfect because you can associate it with a real wallet. You can trace to who has it. You can trace where it came from, right? You can follow the trail, which you can do with public records today. However, if this does sell, it would be a historic moment because NFTs have officially been used to buy real estate. And by the way, this isn't the first one outside the U.S. Outside the U.S. and Ukraine, there was one that was bought by Michael Arrington, who, by the way, is a well-known person in the crypto world. He bought the NFT of it and he owns it. All right, moving forward. This is what Proppy looks like. You can register, get started. Maybe a house will pop up that's like really cheap, and you could swoop in and buy the floor of that set of NFTs. But by the way, like some houses are probably going to be cheaper than these JPEGs or PNGs. Like you can buy a physical asset that is a home for cheaper than some pixels on a screen, right? It's just a crazy world we live in. All right, another thing that was kind of an interesting concept was ConstitutionDAO last year, which is like you pool a bunch of money and together as a decentralized autonomous organization, you can make decisions to buy something like the Constitution. Now, another one called AssangeDAO has raised more money than ConstitutionDAO. And I think way more Ethereum, because Ethereum was probably worth more back when ConstitutionDAO was made. So again, this trend is coming back. And I think there's rumors that even Vitalik put in money on this, as did I, right? This is just crazy times we're living in, where the founder of Ethereum has contributed to this project. And I think they're rounding up all this money to free him. All right, let's go out from the macro news. Let's talk about crypto now. So this has been a very interesting week because crypto diverged from the stock market. Stock market was being, choppy to flat in the past week, but crypto has been up a staggering amount. Ethereum and Bitcoin about 11% and 13%. It's actually like pretty good because those are the two like index coins. But you have these things like XRP Ripple, 38%, and you have something like Shiba Inu, 45%. When I see something like these coins jumping up like crazy, it usually means there's some retail investment coming in. So people that are not crypto savvy, they see the bull market and they just want to jump onto something and buy it. That is my assessment. Now, there's also rumors saying Ripple, XRP, has this like deadline where the judge has to provide evidence of why Ethereum is a security and XRP is not, but nothing really materialized. But I'm hearing it from some news sources and I'm like, does it really matter? Because there was no response? I don't know. And my gut is that XRP and SHIB are pumping, and the rest of the market, it's probably more retail investors than not. Or there's some social media campaign on YouTube or TikTok that I haven't seen, but is causing the market to run up. Besides that point, other things have been returning back to the norm. By the way, the Bitfinex hack, or the recovery of the funds, is making Leo tokens shoot up like crazy, because in theory, that money should be returned to Bitfinex. And by the way, the Leo token is Bitfinex. So that is why the Bitfinex token is up so much. It's actually 56% today. So if people are wondering, why is the exchange token shooting up? Because that money should go back to the exchange. They just got $4 or $5 billion worth of money. But if you look at the price, it's up, $7 billion. Probably like $2 billion of that was added today. So the coin got $2 billion, and they also got $4 or $5 billion worth of assets. All right, let's kind of get into some specific projects here. Let's look at some. I just wanted to cover. Cadena doesn't have any news this week, but I wanted to point out the lack of news is very interesting, because we anticipate that the decentralized finance stuff is coming. And it was delayed since December. So it's been like 2 months now delayed. We know it's coming, right? So I added this into my newsletter as a top 5 coin because of the lack of news, which is like a very weird thing to do. I usually have very concrete catalysts coming, but it's working because since the newsletter, it's up 76%. It's not a bad return, especially in a like pretty choppy market, right? So wanted to point that out. We'll probably hear more about Cadena as things go forward. And I'm trying to set up meetings with their team just to see what's going on as well. So once I find out more, I'll bring that back to you. Also in the NFT space, Cadena was not part of the NFT news. Now it's the NFT news. NFL is doing NFT tickets. And what's cool about this is it's like it proves you were actually there. If you have a wallet that says I'm Jeff, and I have an NFT ticket of the Super Bowl, and it was issued directly from Super Bowl to me. I know it'd be really weird of me to give somebody else the NFT of that. But you can trace it if I did. So the point is, I can prove that as the wallet owner, I was at the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, I am not going to be at the Super Bowl, but the use case, the value of that exists now, right? Also, we have Artifact, RTFKT. They did a crazy airdrop this weekend. I think it was worth $15,000. So if you were holding this NFT in your wallet, you just got $15,000. So these airdrops still coming out full force. And by the way, there's a new marketing model right now and a new kind of price pumping model, which is if you hold an NFT and they give you another NFT, that gives you money. And they keep doing that. They keep giving you more and more and more. This is the third airdrop from the CloneX program. So that is, I believe, like $20,000 or $25,000 of just pure, honestly, we didn't just not doing anything. It's just all these things are just getting deposited. It's kind of like a form of staking, right? These airdrops. Fluff World did the same thing, or Fluff House, I think is what they call themselves. So I think this is a new trend. We're going to see NFTs start airdropping. Cool Cats is doing this. If you held a cool cat, you got airdropped a cool pet. So I think Cool Pets is going to be another one where if you hold it, then a bunch of airdrops are going to come. By the way, did Cool Pets hatch yet? I am curious to know. As you can see, with the markets coming up, we have a lot of NFTs dropping down in price. And we've explained this almost every week, but because crypto prices move up, the dollar value remains the same. So, 13 Ethereum for Clone X is about the same price as it was when it was 20% down ago, right? But it also means there's people just selling it to buy other speculative bets. Like if I could buy Cardano, for example, that's up 75%, I should do that instead of holding this one in Ethereum, which the cash value remains the same. So that's kind of what we're seeing every week when you see the prices move up and down. But you can see a clear pattern. Everything is clearly moving down. You have some of these like anomalies like Asuna and Mutant Apes Club. Wow, Asuna is actually, it's flat. I was thinking about getting it because I saw it was like a little bit cheaper than the rest. Axie gains 40% after they fixed kind of their Ponzi model, to be honest, right? To avoid permanent economic collapse. Their coin is actually up a good 29% in the past 1 or 2 weeks. We also have ImmutableX making a partnership with Gamestop. By the way, there was a huge rumor that ImmutableX Loopring was going to partner with GameStop. And if you look at Loopring's price, it is likely not going to be good. So if I zoom out here, this is like it was $1, went down to 80 cents. So it actually dropped like 20% after the news was somebody else. But it's actually back up, which is funny. It's actually pretty much the same price in the last 14 days. So Loopring keeps promising that there is a partnership coming. All right. So what else is going on this week? Oh, ImmutableX. Actually, one thing to note is ImmutableX, the price it kind of came down right away. So it went to $4 and now it's back to $2.76. Whenever I see this happen, I see this amazing catalyst happen. Part of it is because people were probably insiders, bought the coin and it went up and it priced it in. But it also tells me that IMX is going to have a lot of usage in the future. And the price is down. It's actually at a pretty low point from this 90-day view, right? So I think it's one of these opportune moments to make it a coin of the week because we know this partnership is here. People have already sold the news, and we know, we just know there's more partnerships coming with IMX. So let's jot that down as one of the coins of the week. I think this is a kind of everyone has sold the news already, kind of like Cadena, like everyone's already sold the news or lack of news, and it's a good time to jump in. No, not financial advice though. This is just me making observations. Another project which is weird was Fortress DAO, where the founder appears to be money laundering or washing coins and jumping the vote, and then just he keeps, I don't know if he's pumping the price up, but that's what's happening with Fort. So you can see it's up 74%, despite these rumors that he's kind of exploiting the system. Again, this is really weird stuff in crypto. We also have, just loading, ConstitutionDAO, which has been exploited as well, which is also down a ton today. If you look at the today chart, you can see this big drop from 125 to 25 cents. Again, these are opportune moments. If you see a hack that doesn't result in the entire project getting completely screwed, great time to buy. Because if you bought the dip, even if you got it around 50 cents, it's back to 75, right? Or even 80. So you're up more than 50% if you bought the dip, knowing that the core protocol was not affected. In this exploit, it was actually because of somebody else's interface, I believe, that got taken out of Superfluid and then dumped on the market. So again, these are strategies you got to catch right away. But if you're really watching crypto, these are things you can act on. Gala Games is going to plow $5 billion with a B into NFT expansion efforts. I don't know where they're getting the money from. 5 billion is more, it's the amount of funding in January, right? That's a lot of money, and their coin is up 6.6%, but it's actually up a lot over the week, up 100% in the past 2 weeks. Now, if you guys know me, I do have a Gala node. There's a node outage right now. I suspect that the price of Gala might fall once the outage news is out. It's public knowledge. People know. Oh, it just dropped 1 cent. You saw it. People know this outage is happening right now. So I'm gonna make this the second coin of the week if there is a big drop, because I know this 5 billion stuff is coming, and I know there's this infrastructure issues right now. Let's see what happens though. So let's make it kind of the riskier play of the week. Moving forward, let's talk about Wormhole. So really bad week for Solana. We talked about Solana adding it back to the top 5, making it a coin of the week to watch. And then someone stole $300 million from the Ethereum that was backing Wormhole on Solana. So basically, Solana has a bunch of DeFi farms that have W Ethereum, wrapped Ethereum, and all of a sudden, all that was stolen. So basically, all the DeFi farms using Ethereum were pretty much worthless because that Ethereum was worth nothing. Solana suffered a massive hit. It's like right after I released the video too. So this is crypto. These things happen, and you can see from 110 it dropped all the way to 95. So not like horrible, but like in crypto, but it is definitely not performing up on par with the rest of the market. And then Wormhole got a big backing from Jump Capital, I believe. They gave them 120k Ethereum, or no, I think it was 80k Ethereum. I don't know the exact number, but they pretty much funded back the backing. So I think this problem has been solved. And it didn't look great for Wormhole. It didn't look good for Solana either. But it's not really Solana's fault in that case. All right, moving forward. Terra UST is now the default on Pangolin, which is the second most used DEX on Avalanche. We also have, this is the Terra news section, I guess. We also have Anchor increasing their borrowing limit to 80%. And what happened after that? People immediately borrowed $300 million more. So there's actually more money now coming into Anchor with this increased number of borrowing. Also, there's something else going on. FTX, for some random reason this week, announced UST. You can lend UST on FTX. Okay, interesting. And then we saw news that Nexo was also launching a native Luna coin and UST. Very interesting. What is going on, right? And this is not as big of news, but Stater is coming up with an NFT project, play to earn giveaway. And okay, so there's a lot of Terra stuff coming out, by the way. Derby Stars is launching a second sale, and I'm going to put this in the action items, because this, we know if you just buy this for like a few dollars, you can get an immediate return, because it's already selling for 6 or 7 Luna floor, so about $300-400 at the minimum. So if you can get it, you know that you have an immediate return, right? So I'm going to put that there. I actually didn't read the details because I just saw this, so maybe I should. It looks like it's going to be an auction, so make sure you whitelist, and okay, it's random minting. Then you can, if you get a rare horse, it's worth more. Terra also announced last week it's going to be a $40 million sports deal, and it's going to be a major team. This article has some very compelling evidence that, you know, comparing their tech, you know, the description with the actual team, it matches the Nationals. So which state is Nationals? Anyway, the Nationals is on a baseball team. This is the guess. I was putting this in for fun, but I actually don't know what the team is. I apologize. But Terra, you know, did okay this week, 10%, but still recovering from that Wormhole slash, what was the other thing that happened? Oh, from the sell-off on MIM, right? So that 2 weeks ago caused a huge sell-off. Not great for Terra, but it is coming back. However, we're still waiting for Redacted 3 to come out. So that news has not been released. We think it should be released this week because Redacted 2 was released exactly 1 week ago. Also, our fund officially came out of the stealth mode, Lunatic Capital. We'll be investing in a lot of these ecosystem coins, including Derby, by the way. I think we're in talks with them right now. So just as a disclosure, if we invest in any projects that we or if we talk about any projects and we've invested in them, I will let you guys know, of course. And the Aave team released something called Lens Protocol. Now, Lens Protocol is a social media graph where you can, it's an NFT that you put in your wallet that you can do a lot of stuff on, make posts, comment. I think they're trying to do the full stack of what social media networks can do, and you can make that integrated with other social networks, apparently. I need to read more into this, but I think this is the first time I've seen something like this. It's actually built on Polygon. So Lens Protocol built on Polygon, and anybody can use it. And Aave, I wouldn't expect a price to be formed, nothing, but it is reacting positively. I can see the price going up this week, but it is a big market cap, so it doesn't move much. We also have Stark Swap. Oh man, that's like kind of a tongue twister. Stark Swap. But it's a Starkware kind of DeFi protocol. And what is going to be interesting is the competition between Stark Swap and things like DYDX. And what is the other one? I think it's Zigzag. Anyways, there's a lot of these exchanges coming out on layer 2s, which are cheap and fast. So I think this is the future. This is clearly going to be the future because it's cheap and fast, right? Unless Ethereum gets cheap. So we'll see what happens. QREDO. Oh no, did I open the mobile thing? No, this is just how the website is structured. A giant image, I guess. Raised Series A, $80 million Series A, which is crazy. And crazy investors, Coinbase Ventures, Avalanche, and Terra. I think QREDO is like a very overlooked coin. Down 8% now too. Maybe this should also be a coin of the week, huh? Maybe Gala is too high. So look at QRDO. It is actually interesting that they're fully diluted. Valuation is huge. But it is down from a staggering like $9 from earlier this year. I believe I mentioned it a long time ago, and it went up like crazy. But now it's at a more of a desirable price point. Actually, at $2 would have been better. But, there's a lot of coins out there. We didn't see this in a while. Anyways, QRDO also raised Series A. Take a look at it. I will add it as like a honorary one when I do the notes. And let's go with some other news. Ubisoft supporting HBAR. And HBAR is a layer 1 blockchain, has a lot of partnerships. I think HBAR is also an overlooked coin. So it's starting to, it's sneaking back up. You see it's up 10% this week. And from this dip, it's sneaking back up. But it also doesn't have not as compelling enough for the top 5. But I've mentioned it a couple times on this program. Well, so that is it for this week. A few minutes earlier than usual. It's pretty late here and I'm tired. So I just wanted to put that out there. Until then, recapping, we have Gala, IMX, and QRDO as kind of the spotlight, coins to watch. And we have Derby Stars as the kind of action item this week. So make sure you get whitelisted, try to get in the random mint, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.